Hi everyone, let's work out question 12, which is on statistics from a 2023 paper 2. It is given as question 12. It reads, the following table shows the age distribution of 30 people in a village. So the table below is a frequency table, and age, which is given in years, has been given as class intervals. The frequency values for the first class, it is 2. For the second class, it's 6. Third class, it's 9. Fourth class, it's 7. The fifth class, it's 4. And the last class, it is 2. So for this table, we are required to work out part A, which says calculate the standard deviation. And this part has got 6 marks. Then for part B, answer this part of the question on a sheet of graph paper. So we're going to answer all these questions below on a graph paper. Starting with B1, using the table above, copy and complete the relative cumulative frequency table below. So we're going to copy this table on our graph and then fill up the missing numbers on the last row there, relative cumulative frequency. Then B2, using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 10 units on the horizontal axis and 2 centimeters to represent 0.1 units on the vertical axis for x is greater or equal to 0 but less than or equal to 60, and y is greater or equal to 0.0 but less than or equal to 1.0. Draw a smooth relative cumulative frequency curve. So that part is 3 marks. And then B3, showing your method clearly, use your graph to estimate the 70th percentile. So we'll come and calculate the 70th percentile based on the graph that we're going to come up with. So let's start with the first part, calculating the standard deviation using the information that is given in the table above. And for this part, there are formulas given. So first of all, we are going to calculate mean, and then we are going to use that mean to calculate standard deviation. Now for the formulas, we'll go for the formulas under grouped data, that is on page 2. And this is because the information that we've been given here is under grouped data. It is organized information. If you've seen, it is given in a table, and the first table is a frequency table. So for that, we are going to start with calculating mean so that we calculate standard deviation. So mean for grouped data, the formula is mean, which is denoted by x bar, is equal to summation of f(x), f then x, then everything over summation of f, which is frequency. So this here, summation fx is the multiplication of frequency times the mid value. So x is the midpoint or mid value of the classes. And then over summation f, this is just the summation of the frequency values. So for the first calculation, what we're going to do is first of all draw a line to show the multiplication and addition. So 2, which is the frequency on the first class here, is going to multiply with x. Now x, we said it's the midpoint. So what is the midpoint of 0 and 10? So what you can just do is add 0 plus 10, which gives 10, then divide by 2, that gives 5. Then add that to the next frequency is 6, then 10 plus 20, that gives 30. 30 divided by 2, we're getting a 15. So 6 is multiplying with 15 here. Then plus 9 times the midpoint here, 20 plus 30 gives 50. Divide by 2, we get 25. Then that plus 7 times 30 plus 40, that gives 70. Divide by 2, 35. Then plus 4 times 40 plus 50 here we get 90 divided by 2, 45. Then plus the last one, which is 2 times 50 plus 60, that gives 110. 110 divided by 2, we get 55. So all this divided by 30, which is the summation of frequency, because if you add up this, you get 30. This also goes with the 30 people in a village. So number of people is also frequency. So x bar, for our next stage, we're going to write x bar equal to, so the multiplication and addition of what we have here will be shown like this. So let's multiply. So multiplying these values, we are getting here 2 times 5 gives 10, then plus 6 times 15 gives 90, then plus 9 times 25 gives 225, then plus 7 times 35, this gives 245, then plus 4 times 45, here we get 180, then plus the last one, 2 times 55, here we get 110. Then all this divided by 30. Summing up this will give the following. So 10 plus 90 plus 225 plus 245 plus 180 plus 110. If you sum up this using your calculator, you get 860, and that divided by 30. And then x bar division of this using our calculator will give us 28.66666. So 6 will be recurring. So we just round off to 3 significant figures. That will give us 28.7. So this is mean years. So 28.7 years is our mean value. Then next is calculating the standard deviation. So again, we are picking on the formula that is under grouped data. So I'll pick on one. There are 2 there, so you just have to select which one you're going to use. Now, looking at the kind of working I've done, I will pick on the one which has summation fx square. So we write square roots. So I'll pick on the one which has summation f x square, then divide all this by summation f, then minus x bar squared. So this is the one I will work with. So then this means that standard deviation is equal to, so I'll just do this in reference to what I got on mean. So if you've seen, on mean we said 2 times 5. So here it's just squaring the mid values. So I'll be squaring the mid values and maintain the frequency values the same way they are. Then divide by 30, and then I'll subtract minus mean square. Then after we get whatever we are going to get in this division and subtraction, then we'll square root the answer. So this will be as follows. Let me just draw a line for this first of all. So this is square root square root of summation of fx square. So this is the same as 2 times 5 square plus 6 times 15 square. So we're squaring all the midpoints. then plus 9 times 25 square plus 7 times 35 square, then plus 4 times 45 square. Okay, we have to extend our line. Plus 2 times 55 square. So once we get this multiplication of frequency and the midpoint square, we're going to divide that by 30. So 30 is the summation of frequency. So we can just extend the square root so that we also incorporate x bar square. So this is subtracting minus. So for x bar square, it is the 28.7 that we got. So 28.7 square. So we're going to find the square of this at some point and subtract from what we're going to get here. So first of all, we start with the multiplication. So multiplication of all this and addition. 2 times 5 square plus 6 times 15 square plus 9 times 25 square plus 7 times 35 square plus 4 times 45 square plus 2 times 55 square. So all this, if you work with your calculator, you should get the value 29,750. Okay, that's the value we're getting if we multiply and add fx square, summation fx square. So again, we write our square root. Then this same value that we get on the numerator divided by 30. Then subtract it to what we get on 28.7 square. So 28.7 square gives us 823.69. So now the next stage, all we'll have to do is divide 29,750 divided by 30. This will give us the following. So 29,750 divided by 30 gives 991.67. Then subtract with the 823.69. So this gives square root . So the difference here, if you subtract with your calculator, the difference is 167.98. And then square rooting this gives 12. So square rooting 167.98 gives 12.9607098571. So a lot of digits. So we just have to round off correct to 3 significant figures, and this is going to be 13, because if you add a 1 to 9, it will be a 10, so we just pass it over to 2, so 9 will be a 0. So this will be 3.0. So 13.0 is our standard deviation value. So this is how we calculate standard deviation. First of all, we calculate mean, then standard deviation, we use this formula. Now this formula is because of the method I'm working with. So if it was the deviations, if I was doing the deviations first, I would have worked with that one for deviations, but in this case I'm working with fx square. So even on the first part, on the mean, I worked with fx, so it's better I work out this question like this. So that is our standard deviation, which is 6 marks. Then we go to B. Now for B, what we're going to do is first of all draw the table. So for the part B1, I've already drawn the relative cumulative frequency table, and all we have to do is just work out the values that are missing on these 3 boxes. So for this, we go to 30 here. The value is going to be found by dividing 17 divided by 30. So it's the cumulative frequency value divided by the total frequency. So that's how they even got this 0.27 on less than or equal to 20 here. They divided 8 divided by 30. So 8 divided by 30 gives this. So it is each of these cumulative frequency values divided by the total frequency. So for this one, it will be 17 divided by 30, and the answer should be correct to 2 decimal places. So this would be 0.57. Then for this one, it is 24 divided by 30, and that will give us 0.8. Then 28 divided by 30, this would give us 0.993. So 0.93. So then now we come up with the curve. So to come up with the curve, we're going to follow the scale using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 10 units on the horizontal axis and 2 centimeters to represent 0.1 units on the vertical axis. For 0 to 60 representing x and 0 to 1 representing y, draw a smooth relative cumulative frequency curve. So for B2, we are going to use our graph paper, and in this case I'm going to position the origin at this point here, and then we're going to draw the values of y, or the relative cumulative frequency on the vertical axis. And then for the horizontal axis, we are going to use it to represent the values from the edge. So edge will be on the x-axis, and then relative cumulative frequency will be on the y. So at this point, the intersecting point, we're going to say this is 0, since both of them are starting at 0, so we start at 0. For the horizontal, the case is that we are taking 2 centimeters to represent 10. So meaning that every 2 centimeters will be increasing by 10. So from 0, this means this is our 10, then this is 20, 30, 40, 50, then 60. So this is going up to 60, so we end on 60. And this is the edge, and this edge is in years. So this is the horizontal axis. Then for our vertical axis is just going to have the values that we've come up with here. So it is from 0.00 to 1, which is just the same as 0. So we're using the same point, 0. Then here we're going to have 0.1, because they've said 2 centimeters to represent 0.1. So this would be 0.2, this will be 0.3, then this will be 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and this is 1. So that's what we get here. So this here is representing the relative cumulative frequency values. So this is relative cumulative frequency. So we've labeled it, and these are the values that are there. So for this one, it is age, which is in years. So now how do we plot the values? So we start with the first one. This is 0 to 0. So this is the origin. So it is at this point here. And then the second is 10 to 0.07. So if this is 0.1, then 0.07 is in line with the 10, and we'll just count 7 small boxes. Okay, so it should be under 0.1 since it's 0.07. So small boxes, which are just 7. So small 7 boxes, and the point is going to be there. Then in line with 20, what do we have as the relative cumulative frequency value? So in line with 20, we have 0.27. So 0.27 in line with the 20. So if this is 20, so 0.27 means we reached 0.2 and then count 7 boxes also. So this here is 0.27. Then for 30, it is 0.57. So for 30, it is 0.57. So 30, locate. So 30, locate 0.57 in line with 30 is here. So 0.57. Then for 40, which is this here, 40, we're going to plot it with 0.8. So 40 is 0.8. So matching 40 to 0.8, this is meeting here. Then for 50, 50 is matching with 0.93. So we plot 50 against 0.93. So if you've seen the line for 50 is this line. So we just have to follow this line, 50 matching to 0.9, then 3. So 3 small boxes on top of 0.9. Then the last one is 60, which is this one here. 60 is matching to 1, so which is just here. If you've checked here, this is this point. And so when we come up with all these points, so all we just have to do now is connect the points. So from the origin, we need to show that the points are connected with a smooth curve. So just using our hands, so this point will be connected to this point with a curve going like this. Then this one will connect to this one, passing through this one. Then it goes passing through here. And for this one, what we're going to do is this. We're going to bend it here. So this here is our smooth curve. So you just use your hands and your pencil to draw this. So we're going to even label it as relative cumulative frequency curve. So this is our relative cumulative frequency curve. So after doing this, all we now have to do is answer the last part, which is showing your method clearly. Use your graph to estimate the 70th percentile. So for the 70th percentile, this is just 70% of the distribution. B3. So for B3, we want 70th percentile. So calculating 70th percentile, all we do is the following. So this is just 70% of 1. Since the distribution is out of 1, so it is 70% of 1. And 70% as a fraction is 70 over 100. Then multiply that by 1, since we are looking at distribution of 1 here. And what this gives is 0.7. So if you work out 7%, that is 70 divided by 100 times 1. What we're going to get is 0.7. And when you get 0.7, you go to your graph, draw a horizontal line on the value 0.7. So this is done like this. From 0.7, we draw a line that is connecting to the curve. So once it is connected to the curve, as soon as it meets the curve, we draw a vertical line. We draw a vertical line, and this vertical line should meet the horizontal axis, and then we're going to take the value where this is going to meet the horizontal axis. So at this point, so now if you've seen the reading for this point, it is 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So what this means is the value we are looking for as the 70th percentile is 35 years. So 35 years is the 70th percentile. So looking at the value we've gotten here after drawing horizontal line from 0.7 here meeting with the curve, and at the point of intersection here you draw a vertical line, and this vertical line meets with the horizontal axis at 35. So this 35 here is the 70th percentile. And so this is how we work out questions on statistics. So first of all, we started with the standard deviation, and then later on we've done the graph where we've shown how we plot the points and how we connect the points, and then how we get the percentile. So we did the 70th percentile, and this gave us 35 years. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll do another question on statistics where I will use a table when it comes to calculating mean and the standard deviation.